Welcome back to another Communion Connection thought. One of my favorite prayers in the Bible is in Psalm 51. When David prays, "Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me." God promises to do that. We read in Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 26, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh." This, of course, is a prophecy looking forward to the time of Christ and how Christ's death and resurrection would give us new life and a new heart. But I do feel often like what Paul says in Romans, that what I want to do, I don't always do, and what I don't want to do, that I do. In other words, it seems that my old self is often in this battle with this new heart. That the things that I do don't always match up with the new life that's supposed to be inside of me. Interestingly, again, we see an analogy between this spiritual idea and what happens to us physically when a person receives a heart transplant. When a person receives a heart transplant, in almost 100% of the cases, they will experience at least one significant attempt by the body to reject their new heart. Heart transplants began in this country in the late 1960s with some success. But a major development occurred in the 1980s that really helped the success rate of new heart transplants. And it had nothing to do with the procedure, it had everything to do with the medicine that was given to heart transplant recipients after the procedure. Because you see, the body's immune system sees the heart as a foreign invader, and it alerts its blood to create antibodies to attempt to attack that new heart. This new medicine actually helped to fool the immune system into thinking that the heart was not a foreign invader. In fact, it's not even possible to have a heart transplant unless you share at least the same blood type as the person who gave you the heart. Interestingly, this is what happens at the Lord's Supper. Christ, again, on the night he is betrayed, with the Lord's Supper with his disciples, tells his disciples to take the cup and drink of it, saying, "This is the new covenant in my blood, which was shed for the forgiveness of your sins." Again, the imagery here is of us drinking the blood or taking Christ's blood into us. Well, Christ's blood, of course, would not reject Christ's heart. In a sense, we're saying that we want to have the blood, the life, the perspective of Christ inside of us, so that we may flow out of us the heart of Christ. Again, I think that's a kind of interesting imagery given to us at the Lord's Supper, that Christ would have us not take that blood and sprinkle it on ourselves, but take it into us, because only our blood in us, Christ's blood in us, will not reject Christ's heart in us. Christ understands again how blood works, how the heart works, how the body works. Some things they wouldn't have understood in the first century in Israel. But Christ demonstrates his divinity by using an analogy of the Lord's Supper that completely identifies with the way a person's blood and heart interact. And again, that's just another one of these community connections for us to think about.